Alright guys, first turn here. Let's take a look. Now before I get started, last episode I said that there were 2 other people recording this on YouTube. That is not entirely correct. It turns out only one other person is putting it on. That is Perun from Riley. And last episode's description, I put a link to the beginning of his playlist, and he will be recording his full game with Riley. Now, Shinuyama is also a YouTuber. That's General Confusion. He has quite a large channel. I recommend checking him out. But he's not recording this game. So it's only me and Perun who are on YouTube. But the Shinuyama player has a lot of other games on YouTube if you wanna look at those. I think I'll link to his channel in this description. But anyway, here's the first turn. Chaos and stuff. Alright, so I am here. There's one big continent. There's one water. Now we have Riley in the water, and we've also got Zabalba, the frog Zabalba from the Middle Age, and we also have Airmore. So we have 2 land nations that can easily get into the water, and we have one full-on water nation. But here's where I start, and I was very happy with this start. Basically, a few things about the start. I start out near 2 thrones, which is very good. There are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 15 thrones. You need 7 of them, 1 plus 1 to win. There are, so yeah, that means I only need, if I get the 2 thrones I start next to, I'll only need 5 more to win, which is a good boost early on. 3, 6, 9, 12. So 12 players, 15 thrones. So, wait. Yeah, 12 players, 15 thrones. No, excuse me, there are 12 players, 12 thrones. So, if I'm able to get these 2 thrones, which seems likely, someone else is going to get stuck with no thrones. But I've got one next to my capital, one 2 squares away from my capital. This one is also on a swamp, which means it's going to hopefully have a lot of magic sites in this one place. So that's cool. Other things of note is I've got this forest right here. I'm sending my flying scout there. If I do that, you'll notice this doesn't actually border my capital. There's a wall of mountains in the way. So that's kind of neat. I'm at this point deciding I probably want to put a second fort right here, or a fort right here, because that way it'll be very close to my capital without either of them taking each other's resources. So this could be a pretty powerful thing. I get one of the bonuses of this nation I didn't mention is I start with a giant fort. I start with 3 recruitment points. This is 4, that's -1. No other forts that I produce can get that. The only other way I can get one is to steal one of Marignon's forts, I believe. But if I have that one there producing 2 commander points, this one producing 3 commander points, that can be like a hub of my empire. They don't border. I think that's a great thing. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy being surrounded by all these plains provinces. They should have relatively easy defenses. So that's nice. I also have, in terms of other things, I like mountains because they have a lot of air sites. I like wastes because they have a lot of air sites. So I noticed that down here to my south, I've got 2 waste provinces, both 2 and 3 squares away from my capital. This one's 2 away from my hypothetical fort here. So I'm hoping to grab them and get some nice air income from that. Another thing I like, of course, is mountains. It's kind of hard to see mountains on this map, but this is a mountain. This is a mountain / farmland. So that could be a nice one to grab. It's a bit far away, though. I'm not sure if I will. These mountains go quite a ways. Mountain. That's not a mountain. That's just a forest. This is another mountain / farmland. This is a mountain. Not a mountain. That's quite far away. Mountain. So this is basically over here. This area is a giant mountain range that I'd like to push into. That's a mountain. That's a mountain. And more mountains I get, the better. I also have over here, next to another thing that I might one day want to conquer, I have a little mountain range. Those 3 provinces, are all mountains, so that would be another thing I could push towards. I also have this farmland. This farmland is great. For one thing, I love the name Grainport. For another thing, having a farmland that borders the ocean is very good for me because I have access to the spell Trade Winds, I think. Let's see where that is. No. What Trade Winds does is if a province borders the ocean, then I can cast Trade Winds there. It's only castable on a coast, but it increases my production by something like 40%, which is very powerful. Here it is, Trade Winds. It costs 10 air gems. Oh no, that's Wind Ride, excuse me. Where's my Trade Winds? Pretty sure it's level 5 somewhere. Yeah, here it is. It does also cost 10 gems. 25% boost to a coastal province income. So unfortunately, I don't start with my capital on the coast. It's best to cast that on your capital. But this is going to have a huge income for me. So I'm hoping I'll be able to grab that, cast Trade Winds on it. One issue I have is I don't have that many nearby forests. Forests are also pretty good for air income. That's a forest. This one is, if I get the Grainport here, I'll likely get that one. There's this one, and then this far away mountain range is in the middle of a pretty large forest. There's a couple over in this mountain range as well. So that's more or less what I'm going for. I'm going to want to surround these two. So, I mean, I'm not likely to be able to get the water. So this one I can surround it by getting Grainport and my cap circle, and then I'll have that one as surrounded as can be. This one over here, in order to surround it, because one thing is these are level 2 thrones, so they're going to be quite hard to conquer, so it's much better to surround them. This one, I will likely be able to get that and that as my cap circle-ish. Then if I can push down into this mountain range, I'll be able to surround it. So this one, and then also potentially this one, and then I'll have it surrounded. Even if I don't get that one, it would be very cheeky for someone to, for example, have these provinces over here, and then also push deep into my territory to get that one. So I'm hoping that they wouldn't do that, but I'm not sure. So that's kind of how my expansion looks. In fact, I'm going to jump over to another program now and give you a better idea of that. So this is a program I learned about from on YouTube from watching Das Tactic, and it is pretty good. It's basically what you use it for is envisioning your plans early game in Dominions. It costs a tenner. It's meant to be for playing board games with people, multiplayer over virtual reality. But I'm not using it for that. Maybe one day when I have a VR headset, I can use it for that. But for right now, I use it to plan out my Dominion strategies for a game. And it's very good. So this is the map, the whole map here. I had to adjust the map a little bit. It wraps. So it takes some preparation, but it's a nice program. Here's my capital, and in this game there's 15 provinces per player. These are the 2 thrones, so I've envisioned here, if I get 15 provinces exactly, that'll be these white circles, and these are the most important provinces for me in the white. And then if I do, if I expand well, then and I get more than 15 provinces, that's these yellow circles are kind of my reach goals, whereas the white circles are my core goals. So this is kind of how I am planning to expand. I want to push hard to get these 2 deserts, like I mentioned, and I also want to push pretty hard to surround or nearly surround my 2 thrones. So I push into the mountain range here. I push up here to get this Grainport, which I'm fond of. And yeah, as the game progresses, not every turn, but now and again, I would update this. So I'll show you whenever I do. And this turn 1, this is what I'm hoping to conquer. All right, so let me just quickly show you what I'm recruiting, what I'm actually doing on my first turn here. Prophetizing the initial commander. One nice thing about having my Bless be for leaders is that my Prophet leader here is going to go from leadership 80 to leadership 110. And get an inspirational boost. So that's a nice little thing that happens for me. I'm grabbing my Spirehorn warriors. Like I said, they're the cheaper one in terms of recruitment point resources. So I'm maxing out my resources here. Hopefully them. I mean, we'll watch the expansion as it unfolds. But turn 1, I'm gonna pump up my Spire Horns and get that nice general. I'm also grabbing a Caelum Seraph, just because I have the money to, and he's a better researcher. I'm also starting another Caelum Seraph, and we'll see how that plays out. And my initial scout is valuable because he can fly, so he's going to start bouncing around flying. I'm first of all going to check out this Royal Green because I know I want it, and I'm going to see what it has. So let's jump to turn 2. All right, so a lot of intel came in this turn. For one thing, Asphodel staled turn 1, which is bad. That's one of my rivals. So he might not be a powerhouse. Also, I get unlucky here with, like I said, I have 4 plains provinces that I can expand into. 3 of them have heavy cavalry, so that's too bad. 1 of them doesn't, though, and that's all I need this turn. So I'm going to try and conquer this province here. Also, luckily, this forest here that I'm after also does not have anything too nice defending it. So my scout is going to go have a look around the woods, see what's in this province. This province is very, like, this is a mountain pass. My cold scales close mountain passes, but I can fly through them. So this is a great province for me. If I just get that province, that locks off this province, which almost locks off this province. So this is an important province. But first I'm going to check what's here, just in case it's something super easy or whatever. It's a mountain, it might be something easy. I'm marching into my first expansion here. Let's see what I've got. I start out with these garbage people, these militia, and also archers. The archers are useful, the militia are not. So I have them basically bulking up my force with a guard commander order. He can lead three squads, so the guard commanders don't count. So I've divided up my initial recruitment of lances into 2 parts. They are going to stand in front of the archers and then jump to the rear. The archers are going to fire on whoever's in front. This guy's going to courage everyone up, and then smite. Because I have a fire blast, it's actually heavenly fire, which is just better than smite. I think it's smite plus potential for 10 extra armor negating fire damage. So hopefully he can kill some people. Hopefully this will work out pretty well. Recruitment side, you know how I started a Caelum Seraph. The plan is I was just banking half I have leftover gold, so I'm just banking 1 commander point. And right now I would be recruiting Caelum Seraph and a Seraphine either way, but that banked commander point is going into a next Caelum Seraph. The idea is one time when I don't need a general, I can get 2 Seraphs. So we'll see how long that takes. I'm back to recruiting more Spirehorn warriors. I don't know why I'm not maxing out my gold and resources. That's dumb. But this is how it is. I probably should have done that a bit differently. I'm starting to research. Let's take a look. It's where you start out with some random research. Alt 2 is a great one. So getting 1.5 alt was good. Alt 2 will get me Phantasmal Warrior, which is very early on something for my mages to do that's useful. Phantasmal Warrior is actually pretty useful. It gets me army men that are like better than my native ones, and I can get basically 5 per guy, and they come back every time. Phantasmal Warrior is a great initial spell to go for. I'm going to grab that. Then I'm going to Evocation 2 for Lightning Bolt. That's basically greater than 0 amount of firepower coming out of my mages. It's still bad. I mean, it might kill 1 guy if it hits. It's not a great spell. It's not going to win me wars, but it's something for my mages to do, and that's valuable to have some firepower to play around. I'm then going to go up to Construction 2, which is very useful for Owl Quills at least, as well as some other things. So I'll let you know how that progresses as well. Here we have turn 2. I took a look at the thrones this turn. Best thrones for me, I mentioned I don't have any earth magic, but I'm actually quite lucky insofar as the crystal throne is out there with an earth 2 astral 2 mage, also the iron throne with an earth 2 astral 2 and a random mage. Even the silver throne, he has an earth random. It's the worst of the three I've just mentioned, but it's also, I'll take it. There's also the excellent best level 2 throne in the game, which is the Throne of Knowledge. Lore Masters are a powerful guy. They'll get me anything I want. Well, anything they want. There's also other interesting thrones. We've got Throne of Death. This is a decreases my... Normally you don't take this unless you want the death, but with this nation I might want the death. I'll go from growth 3 to growth 2, which is okay. It goes well with the Throne of Life. If I put those two together, then they balance each other out. I'm back up to growth 3. So if I find life is much less useful without death, death is way better with life. So we'll see what thrones I get, hopefully soon enough. Bureaucracy's garbage for me. I wouldn't even claim it, probably. Throne of Air is kind of a fun one. It gets me my air gems, which I want. This Windmaster looks like he's worse than my guys, except that if I give him winged boots, he flies in storms, so he's actually a good piece of my arsenal. If I get the air throne, that would be a pretty good one as well. And I'm going to get 2, so we'll roll the dice on what exactly they are. I will be able to find out what they are before I conquer them using the wonderful magic of water and using Scrying Pool. So at one point I want to go up to Thaumaturgy 2 to grab that Scrying Pool just to check my thrones. So yeah, that's a pretty solid turn. I mean, a pretty standard turn 2. I think I'll try and get turn 3 in here as well, and then maybe call it a day. We'll see how it looks. Alright, turn 3. First of all, it looks like I get really lucky here. I get a hero. Even though I have the Misfortune 1 scales, I wasn't necessarily expecting any heroes, but I got one. She is a multi-hero. She's basically a super version of my priest, scout, general lady. So we'll take a look at her later on. But first of all, let's look at the battle. My first expansion battle. Okay, so here's my army. They are kind of small in number and in strength. But the enemy is also small in number. But if you look, the enemy actually has some cavalry that I wasn't expecting. They have apparently 5 cavalry, including generals. So that's bad news for me, basically. Let's see how this plays. Okay, 2 cavalry hit my front, right as my front runs away because they're dumb. So now the front line, my infantry is attacking their generals, which is good, except all the generals are cavaliers. And these 2 cavalry are hitting my archers, but one just died to my prophet. 2 of the cavalry generals move towards the archers. The other one dies to my prophet. Very good. So now these guys are only fighting 1 cavalier. The archers are fighting militia. That's pretty evenly matched if they didn't have bows, and they do. So that's good. But now these 2 fuckers hit the front. Okay, my infantry take a lot of losses, but seem to have defeated the generals. Fortunately, these 2 are also generals. One, however, is fleeing. So now it's just 1 general and militia against me with very, very little left. If I can kill these 2 generals, I might still have a chance. I kill 1. The other one's about to flee. All I need to do is survive. Once he flees, I think... Oh, but look at this. I've just routed. So their general's routed. It's militia versus militia at this point, and they have more of them. So they win, which is a blow. But it looks like I might have killed all their generals. So let's actually look at that. Yep. Generals down. They had 3 command. All of their cavalry, all of their generals are down. They're down to just 7 militia. But I lost, so I don't get a province this turn. What basically this means is the next turn I can conquer it with a scout. So that's okay. I also get a messenger. I think this is, yeah, this is the elves. They are just saying hi to everyone. They are saying that there are very little humans on the board. We're all playing as non-human nations except Marignan, so it's kind of funny. Here is the state of the board. I still only have my capital. It's turn 3. That's not great. But because my prophet retreated, he can still do general duty. And who I was going to use as a general, she can make use of her scout skills to conquer this as a single scout. So ideally next turn I have 3 provinces, although this turn I have 1. Here's what this one looks like. Now, I mentioned that I start with militia and they're useless. Actually, they have one use, which is dying, and they can eat lances, which means they all attack the cavalry. They lose. A lot of them die, but the cavalry all break their lances, hitting the militia. And then when it comes time to fight real enemies, namely these guys, the cavalry are a lot weaker. So that's the plan: is they hit the cavalry, they hit the back line. There's only 5 archers left, so they're just gonna stand in front of my general basically, and hopefully this will work out for me. We can look at that next turn. My scout has discovered that this is long-dead horsemen. They're pretty dumb. They're like weaker than cavalry, and they die to banishment. So if I can hit them with my prophet, that's good. But really, it's more important what's in this province. So I'm about to go look at that. It's worth taking a look at my new lady, my multi-hero. She has Astral 3. Astral 3 is great. She's also Holy 3. Holy 3 is also great. She's really nice to have. She's going to be site searching soon, but, well, right now, of course, she can't, so she is researching. But it gives me a boost to my research. Next turn, I will get these little... Oh, I mean, that doesn't matter. The turn is passed. But next turn, I get my mist form warriors. So that's kind of cool. Let's see. Let's jump to the next turn now. All right, turn 4. Let's look at, first of all, we have 2 battles. One is just a scout hitting some militia. We don't need to watch this. They run away because I have no general. So I get a province. That is good. Now let's look at my real battle. Okay. One thing about Caelum is that I sometimes get these, like, all my priests have guardian angels. And sometimes I get a guardian angel randomly coming to the battle. So they can do, I mean, once I have some research, they can do quite a bit more. It's another nice thing about my priest generals. Ooh, God, look at this. That's a lot of cavalry. And basically my militia missed. They attacked the wrong guys. So they ate some lances, but still, like, these guys here who are attacking, they still have their lances. So I'm not looking super optimistic here, unfortunately, which is not great at all. Yeah, this isn't going great. They basically outnumber me. Although, look at that. You notice that my that star of fires, that was my guardian angel killed the cavalry. So that's they can be handy, but it's not enough for this battle. Oh, here, look. This is one of my new phantasmal warriors as well. They have unlimited morale, and they have mist form basically, but they only have 1 hit point. And they're solid troops otherwise. They're quite good. In the late game, I have a spell that can produce tons of them, so you might see armies where my entire front line is them. They're better than my natural troops. But this is a loss. Let's see. Let's look at this and see how many of them I killed. That's really bad. They had 14 heavy cavalry. I killed 3, and I lost all my militia and all my warriors. The storm general once again survives, as do all my archers. And they all retreat to my cap. Let's see. Do they all? Yep, they all get back to my capital. Ready to go again. This is a nothing burger. So, it's now turn 4, and I have 2 provinces, which is really bad. So I've decided that it's time that fortune favors the bold. So what I'm going to do is move. I mean, it looks like it's just this lonely guy attacking. So I'm attacking a province I don't border. It's possible to do this when you fly, but it's never a good idea because anyone who retreats dies. But right now, I need the province badly. I'm surrounded by cavalry, and I know this province has weak defenses. So what I'm doing is I'm moving my storm general, my prophet, with an army, and they're going to fly into this forest, so I don't actually border, even though it looks like I do. I'm bringing her because... Let's see, am I also bringing... No, she's just sitting around. I don't know why she's sitting around, but I'm bringing her because this way, if my general dies, people don't automatically retreat. I have 2 generals, so I can't retreat from general loss quite so easily. And this is just... Now, luckily, I'm producing quite a lot of these lances, So hopefully the lances will deal with whatever crappy chaff is there. And if you look at my recruitment, this is interesting as well, because for one thing, I'm finally getting my other Seraph. I'm banking my stored commander point, but more importantly, look at this. I'm grabbing mammoths. Mammoths are kind of a Hail Mary here for expansion, because my expansion is sucking. Mammoths are good against cavalry. They can't fly. But hopefully the plan is they're just going to bounce around near my capital, eating cavaliers. And then later on in my expansion, once I've dealt with the wall of cavalry, I'll be able to put an end to the mammoths. These little guys, I haven't really showed you them. 120 gold each. So I was saving up gold a bit. I'm spending it all now on 3 giant elephants. And hopefully I can save myself from, because right now my expansion looks garbage. So hopefully my expansion will pick up on account of this. My scout has seen that this is for farmland. This is badly guarded, so that's nice. But yeah, I will leave, I'll put I'll put a cut in the video right now. We'll get back to turn 5 tomorrow. Hopefully we can get a fair few turns in as well. But to sum it up right now, it's not looking super great. I have Alteration 2. Even during that battle, you saw my Alteration 2 paying dividends. About to get evocation, so I'll have some battle magic. But I only have 2 provinces on turn 4, and that's really bad. So wish me luck with my expansion next episode. And if it's as bad as this, then I'm going to be a runt power who doesn't survive very long. So we'll see what happens. See ya.